Hey guys, so this week's mobility, we're going to be talking about a little tool called the barbell that we can do to loosen up the pec and that subscap. So I've had a lot of people coming to me with shoulder issues, and mainly just because it's tight shoulders. And what happens is we've been in CrossFit or any type of lifting program, we generally do a lot of pressing, a lot of front shoulder work, okay? So we're always in this kind of rolled shoulder front rack position, whether that's in pull-ups, push-ups. Then we go home, we sit on our computers, and we're also in this position, which causes that pec to pull forward, and we get in this bad position, and your body likes to be lazy and says, oh, well, you like to be in this position most of the time, so I'm just going to roll that shoulder forward. In ideal situations, we want that shoulder back, sitting in the socket properly, and that'll help our posture, and that'll decrease some issues. But we're inherently lazy, and our body likes to roll forward because that's the position that our body anatomically forms to, because that's the position we're in most of the time. So in order to fix that, we need to loosen up some of that pec tissue to kind of bring that shoulder back. So a lot of the people that I'm dealing with right now is tight pecs and then that tight subscap. So the subscap is like on the back side, underneath in your armpit, on the back side of the shoulder blade. So there's a big piece of meat right here, and if you press in there into that armpit, it's pretty grisly. And the people who know that I've worked on and do some ART release, it gets pretty painful in there. Generally, if you don't have an impingement, I can press in there and there's no issues. But as soon as if you have a little issue or you can't get over the head and achieve a good position, we're super tight. Once I start playing in there, it can make you sweat. So we're gonna do this to ourselves. We're gonna grit up a barbell and put it in the rig. You don't need it too low and you don't need it too high, but something that you can come up with the top. This is a little low. I could go a little higher on that, because what I wanna do is I wanna come over the top with it, okay? So I want to trap the pec right through this groove right here. So here's the front of my shoulder, and then I have that pec muscle. So it's right in front of that. So I'm going to bring that barbell, and we're going to go right across the top of there. Now, I'm going to go hunting, move around on it, and I find those spots that are kind of like, yeah, there's a knot there, or it doesn't feel good. And then I'm going to saw it. So I'm going to go arm straight, turn the palm, and move it around, and I can find those spots. So I can kind of move around and like, oh, yep, there it is. Circles, back and forth. And what I'm doing is I'm sliding and gliding those muscles through it while applying the pressure myself, okay? So you can put a little bit more pressure on it, or you can do less. Now, if I need more pressure, we have a little kettlebell here that we can use in that arm that creates, now it's pulling me down into it, which creates more pressure, okay? So it'd almost be like me kind of getting in there. So then I'm gonna take that kettlebell, just tiny little swings here, really press into it. And we're gonna spend about a minute or two here. Okay, so that's the pec. If I'm not finding anything, now I can get into that subscap. I'm gonna come on the back side. This one takes a little bit of more hunting, but you want that bar to lay across the side and into your armpit, and you're gonna kind of rotate towards the back. And there, I found something that's not so pleasant. Once I find that, I'm gonna move that kettlebell a little bit, and here we go. I'm gonna just kind of work it out. Back and forth, side to side. And when I'm done, I just drop that kettlebell and come off it. Now, somebody asked me, how much is too much? Well, we want to work it until we make some change, okay? So doing it for 10 seconds, if there's so much pain there, we don't want pain where it's intolerable, where it's sending like pain signals. It is uncomfortable though. There's tight tissue in there, there's some tissue restriction, so it is going to be a little bit uncomfortable. So you want to work it until you make some change, and the change could be the pain dissipates. I'll be honest, the pain is also, or the discomfort you're feeling is also your central nervous system saying, hey, I don't like that, the tissue's inflamed, so it's sending signals to the brain. If we can go through our breathing technique and breathe through it, that calms your central nervous system, and then we can make change after that 2-minute period. Remember, it takes about a minute for your body to calm down, get out of that fight for flight, and that minute into the 2-minute mark is where we make the change. And again, how much is too much? There isn't really an answer to that. How much can you tolerate? How much time do you have? And you go until you make some change. So let's just say I'm really, really tender in there. Maybe I'll do it for a few seconds here and then calm down. I'm gonna come back at it. Maybe I don't use the kettlebell. I'll go back at it, just kind of relax, work on my breathing, and all of a sudden it doesn't become so uncomfortable. And then I've started to make some change, because now, okay, it was uncomfortable when I started. It's not so uncomfortable when I do it. Now, do that a couple days. You'll notice that each day it gets a little bit better, because you're getting that tissue restriction out of those areas. So, barbell in the rig. We're gonna work that pec and that pec minor working up under there. Those are two areas that are really hard to get just by pressing it. Okay, a lot of times we come over the top, we'll put a lacrosse ball, but I'm on the top of it. Pec minor's underneath, and we want to work through there. And then we got that subscap, which is a crazy area, but it keeps that shoulder, it attaches on the back side of that shoulder blade. It's really hard to get unless you have somebody doing it for you, but this is the way you can do it. So free up your shoulders, get those unglued. That way our posture's fixed, that way our shoulders mechanics are moving better, and then we can move without pain. So, it does take some work, guys, but you have to get on it yourself. I've been kind of referring these a lot to a lot of people, but I haven't really seen you guys doing it unless I tell you or get on you, so make sure you're on it. If you guys are dealing with some mobility issues, shoot me a message. I love helping you guys. I'll make some videos for you. I have another one for next week already in mind what we're gonna do. It's also gonna involve a barbell. So we'll see you guys next week. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Give us a thumbs up if you like this. Share it with your friends if they need help with mobility. And we'll see you guys next week.